Hey, how's it going guys, DIZARO here, and today we're going to talk about pixel art. Are you a games enthusiast that wants to make a retro styled game? Well, pixel art's the way to go. Pixel art is one of the first ways to portray art into a digital manner. It is literally art with pixels. But have you considered what's a pixel? Well, a pixel is the smallest unit of a digital graphic image, just like a little cell. It holds down information and color based on something that we call RGB. Basically, you get very small colored dots that forms a big image. Today, I'll show you the basics of it using a great piece of software that I found, Asesprite. You can easily import all of those ideas into your preferred software, just as Photoshop, MS Paint, whatever. So let's get started. So this is Asesprite's homepage. Hit new file and this new sprite will pop up. Choose a canvas size. I'm going to go with 32 width and height. Choose your color mode, either RGB, grayscale, or this indexed one that you can choose. A predetermined palette. Choose the background color, either transparent, white, or black, and hit OK. This screen will open up. You can zoom in and out with the scroll wheel on your mouse. And if you don't have the zoom tool enabled, just hit Z on your keyboard and you have all your tools to the right side, those little icons. On your left you have all your colors, just choose them. I'm just drawing something with the pencil tool. You can hold down shift and it creates those straight lines like this diagram I'm creating here. If you want to ink it up, just paint down something, hit G on your keyboard or choose the right tool on your icons there. I chose the gradient tool, and in the top part you have different options that you can apply to your gradient, or you can just like mess with it and find out what works better for you. But that's the main idea, just understand the tool and how to use it. Think outside the box. You can use a gradient to do many things, from shading to an actual gradient. But lightning and creating a palette, it really depends, but think outside the box. Well, I'm just going to clean all this up. I chose the rubber one, and well, I messed with the opacity, and it's an additive thing. If you keep clicking, it will keep like decreasing the transparency. Clean there up so I can show you different stuff. I selected the brush tool with B, but you can also choose the pencil tool there, and you have different types of brushes that you can also save as presets, and depending on what you're drawing, type it in the values multiple times, going on and on with different brushes. That's very monotonous thing, so save your presets. And I'm just going to play with the coloring in a different brush to show you guys how powerful it is to play with curvy and straight lines in Asesprite. You can also do this in Photoshop. Just use your brushes or your pencil tool. It really works. Any kind of raster image software, it gets the job done. Just have to work with really small bits. In this case I'm just messing with the colors, and this is slash typed brush. You can also use layers, but that I'm going to show you guys afterwards. That's the zoom. You can fit screen center and choose a different percentage. Can slice. I don't really like the slice tool, but it really depends. This is the spray one. It's great for making shading when you have like a big size canvas and a big size image. This is the polygon one. Whenever you draw a polygon, it fills inside with the color you chose. Well, that's the curvy one, but it also has like different kind of modes that you can choose from. And what else? Oh, that was the contour. This is the polygon one, and I'm messing with it. Doing the lightning with a slightly brighter color or warmer, it depends on what you're looking at. So you choose a darker one. Well, I have the blur tool. Exactly like Photoshop, you can blur stuff up. If you have different pixels on top of it, you can blur it till it disappears. But to make like leaves on a tree, it's a great way to do it. But don't overdo it because it disappears. I have the shapes, which are great. Whenever you create a shape, it just fills the inside or not, depends on what you select, and you can rotate them, which is awesome. If you have created a whole layer, you can rotate the layer just like in Photoshop. Control U, or is it Control T? Don't remember. There you go. Messing with it, rotating, and hold down Control, Alt, or Command if you're on a Mac, and Shift, and mess around with it. It's exactly like Photoshop. Sometimes it scales with proportion. Sometimes it scales from the anchor point. And it also has this elliptical one. And this is a very powerful tool. Whenever you have a drawing or anything that you want to copy and paste somewhere else, you hit M, or you select the component with one of those tools, like the square one. You deselect it. You can also use the elliptical marquee tool that creates a rounded selection, and you can drag it to somewhere else, including different layers. And you also have the lasso tool that you can free-handedly draw and select what you want. You have the beautiful magic one and the polygonal tool. It works exactly like the lasso tool, but it's a polygonal. But as I said, it depends on what you're using or what you're using it for. But that's it. And my favorite one, the magic one, where it selects everything that has the same color, so you can like copy it. Well, if you have anything selected with one of those selection tools and you can't draw or paint or do anything outside the selection, it's because it creates a mask and you can only affect the inner parts of the mask. So keep in mind to deselect anything and you can like paint and draw and do anything outside the mask. Now let's talk about layers. Layers are a very simple concept to understand. It's just like you have a transparent sheet that you can draw on, and you can stack those sheets on top of one another, and your drawing has multiple layers that are printed as just one, and that's basically it. Well, the animation window and the layers window are the same, just handle layers and frames different ways. But keep in mind that you can create a new layer. It's always going to create a layer on top of your current one. But if you want to create a layer below your current one, you just have to hold down Control and drag it below it, and it's going to work. It's going to make a copy of your current one. But keep in mind that all the content you had drawn in your layer will be there. You have to delete it to make it disappear. And let's draw now this little frog here. It's Kermit the Frog, at least my own version of it. And let's try animating him just to show you how the keyframes work and how the animation can be done and exported afterwards. Well, as usual, if you have any mistakes, you can like go back a step by pressing Ctrl Z, and to copy and paste anything, just Ctrl C, Ctrl Z, and if you're on a Mac, as usual, Command it. Always choose a different width so it sprays on, but you have to have a small pixel size. There you go. Creates somewhat of a shading. Gonna give it a little mouth. There you go, that's our frog. If you hide the layer, everything that's on the layer will disappear. You can also create groups, and to rename it, just right click it, there's the option, or double click it, and that layer properties will pop up. You can also Shift P and choose different. You have different modes of layers. So if you have like glasses or water or whatever, choose a different kind of layer. It adds on, multiply, and that's it. Like the glasses I'm trying to draw here. There you go, frog with sunglasses. But you can also change the opacity or the layer mode afterwards. Anyways, if you delete the layer, everything that you had drawn will stay there on the frog layer. Well, let's now see some animation. There you can create a new frame to your animation, and it duplicates everything that you have so far. You can draw on that keyframe, and everything that you had drawn previously will be there. So it's just like a flip book. You draw stuff and you move the pages and you get different results. Create a new layer and everything you had drawn is saved. To move stuff in the layer section or in the keyframe section, you have to hold down Ctrl and then you move everything by dragging and dropping. And as soon as I'm done coloring this, I will preview my animation. Our character will blink, just hit the play button there and blinks. You can go back and forth frames and to the very beginning or the very ending of the animation. And if you kind of feel your animation's a bit jagged or laggy, you can create frames in between two frames. That's what we call in animation, the actual term in betweens. Is a frame between two other frames that completes the motion. Going to create a tongue layer, and if you do create a different layer during the animation process, only the stuff that you animated on that layer will appear as a keyframe. As you can see, have different black dots but only a white dot there. And that's it. After you're done, you can preview it and you can export in many different file formats, just individual layers, or the ending results, or the animation. And that's it, you all. Now let's try drawing something. And if you do like this tutorial-ish thing, comment down below, leave a thumbs up, share this, and I see you guys next video. Hey all, just going to point out some tips that might help you guys like creating something, and I might make a video about this later on, but just to help you now, I see myself going back to the same 4 principles on and on. So get the shapes done. Shapes the most important thing whenever you're trying to draw anything. And after you have the shapes done, think about your colors, either which palette to use, if you might use a warmer or colder color. Play around with the hue and the saturation. That really helps to make things more vibrant. Like Woody's hair, I added a really brownish color, but also did use very dark red, and it kind of helps creating this warm aesthetics of plastic. So keep in mind to use the right colors, but select a predetermined palette so it gives you a north on where to go and what to paint. Next step is finding out where is your light source coming from and how does it affect your drawing. So add highlights, reflections, and anything that can be extracted out of the lightning, and that really gives texture to your drawing. It enriches a lot. After you're done with the lightning, add shadows and shades. Those gradients are very important when determining depth in your drawing, or actually making it less flat and more texture. Shadows, shades, and lightning, they all go together. Whenever you have a light, you have shadows and shades. So add those, your drawing will be very much more rich and much more professional. Play around with all of these ideas and I'm sure your drawing will be great. Well, put these ideas into practice. Practice leads to perfection. Give your best, try it out, and tweet your artwork under this hashtag, and I will choose the greatest one to show here in the next video. That's it. See you guys.